Welcome to Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Graham O'Brien, and some stories in today's news. Nelson's Clayton councillors, Matariki celebration of victory, collection grows at Classic Bikes, Keele celebration means more jobs. In news recently, Tasman District Council had some councillors' attendance or lack of put under scrutiny by the local media. On examination, Mainland felt that some Nelson City Councillors' attendance records also raised some questions. Nelson Mayor Rachel Reese has said in response to Mainland questions over councillors' attendance at NCC meetings that she expects a high standard from members, carefully listening to submitters, asking questions that are relevant to the issue, testing staff advice to ensure it is robust, and giving reason for decisions. However, in the latest attendance figures, Nelson City councillors for the months of March, April and May, Councillor Kate Fulton has only attended 9 full days of meetings out of 22 and 2 part days while being absent for all the long-term plan meetings. Councillor Ackland partly attended the long-term plan meetings, which we understand to be 1 out of 4 days. On the 25th of March, of the 13 elected members, 6 gave apologies, and Deputy Mayor Matheson, Councillor Noonan and Councillor Copeland didn't even bother to give apologies, they just didn't show up. When Mainland asked Mayor Reese if this was acceptable, she replied that councillors may be absent for a number of legitimate reasons, including work and study commitments, ill health or family reasons. Councillors are expected to use their best endeavours to reschedule other commitments so they can attend meetings. From time to time, rescheduling is not possible. Judging by the lack of attendance by certain councillors in Nelson City, one has to ask, is this good enough of our city representatives when they campaigned on being available for council meetings? And is their long-term plan not an important process for the future of our city? A project to change the face of fishing in New Zealand launched in Nelson yesterday. A ceremony steeped in Māori tradition was held to celebrate the launch of the Fleet Renewal Project, ending with Archdeacon Andy Joseph blessing the keel of the first vessel under construction. This week's keel laying ceremony marked the beginning of the construction of a state-of-the-art fishing vessel that will supply the largest iwi-owned fisheries company, Tauranga-based Aotearoa Fisheries. The trawler is being built as part of a $25 to $30 million project. The ceremony was held at the office of Amex, a boat-building firm constructing the advanced inshore fishing trawler, which was designed to improve productivity and minimise environmental impact. Attending the ceremony in support of the Fleet Renewal Project was Aotearoa Fisheries Limited CEO Carl Carrington, Amex Managing Director Steve Sullivan and Nelson Regional Economic Development Agency Chief Executive Bill Finletter, who all spoke at the ceremony. Carrington told those attending that the ceremony marked the beginning of the biggest fleet renewal of its kind in New Zealand since the early 1970s. Aotearoa Fisheries considered options from around the world for design and build, but decided after adopting an Australian trawler design they preferred to build locally. The average inshore fishing vessel is over 40 years old, and these new 24-metre 6-crew vessels will be more fuel efficient, require less maintenance and are less susceptible to changeable weather conditions. Nelson-based Classic Bikes collection has added some brand new old bikes this week to their ongoing growing display of collectible bikes and artworks. Chrissy Small caught up with Dave Roberts at Classic Bikes in Haven Road, Nelson to find out more about these new acquisitions.
Dave, some new bikes have just come in, it's hot off the press, fantastic new collection. Can you tell me a bit about them and particularly this bike here?
Okay, we've got 12 new bikes that are new to the collection. Some of them are from New Zealand, from Hamilton, from a collection in Hamilton. The rest come from auctions in America. This bike that we've got here is a 1938 Peugeot 515. Very much the state of French motorcycling before the war. Very Art Deco, as you can see by the colour and by the chrome and the seating and the aluminium mufflers.
When people say Peugeot, you automatically think motor vehicles like cars, but not bikes.
No, Peugeot were making motorbikes in 1902, and even 1901, well before they thought of making cars.
And look, I love this little tank business on the wheel here. What was that for?
That's for the oil for the engine. Even though this bike has a wet sump oil system on it, not a total loss, which a lot of others had, they still carted oil in them to make sure that they had enough oil on the long journeys so that they didn't seize.
Well, you know, look, I love the seat. It's obviously, you've got the pillion passenger seat there too. These look like the old bicycle seats, but wider.
Yes, they are, and they're very European looking. Basically, a lot of the scooters of the day, like Vespas and Lambrettas, all had these highly sprung saddles, and so Peugeot obviously used them because they were efficient, gave people a nice, comfortable ride.
Okay, now we've got the BSA here. Now that looks like a classic, 1936. I guess that's the year of its manufacture?
Yes, it is. It's a 1936 YB13, 750 overhead valve BSA motorcycle. Probably one of the most deluxe bikes they made for the road, especially the pre-war bikes.
Right. Now Dave, look, we've got some fantastic vehicles. I love the one with the eyes down here. It's the early bike, I believe, of this collection. Tell me a bit about that.
It's a 1922 Nera car, but not because it looks like a two-wheeled car, but because the name of the man that designed and made them was called Nera Archer, was his surname. But people used that to make it think that it looked like a car.
Right. Look, I love the style of the handlebars. This is, of course, possibly where the motorcycle gangs of today get their styling from.
Oh, probably not. It was probably the vehicles were made so that people were in a more reclined position, you know, when they were riding it. A bit similar to some of the cycles that you see around nowadays. And the reason that it's got all the fairings and the coverings over the front is so that it kept your clothes clean.
Right, so it was a real ladies' bike, this one?
No, ladies and men. I believe they raced in the TT and Isle of Man TT on them. So they weren't just a easy bike, you know, they had some reasonable degree of performance as well.
Now I see it's got a gear lever rather than a foot lever.
Yes, that's just a hand, like similar to what was in the early motor cars, basically just a 2-speed, so you just clap the gear lever instead of using your feet.
Okay, now look, tell me, this collection is brand new in. How many bikes are there in total that have just come in the door, and you know, like, what was the expense that went into it?
Basically, the expense was approximately 2 million New Zealand dollars, and we've got 14 bikes here, so they've come into the collection as new additions.
So Dave, what is the oldest bike in this new collection?
It's this 1907 Indian that we have here, Indian Camelback, and it's named the Camelback because of the tank, petrol tank on the back mudguard that looks like the hump on a camel.
How appropriate.
Yes.
So look, this collection, obviously it's added to the rest of the collection here. Is this the best place to find the collections of bikes in the world?
It's one of them. It's on a par with them. There are others throughout the world that are probably larger and set up in a better situation, you know, with open glass and stuff like that. But this collection is to celebrate motorcycling as an art form and as an art. And if you can see by the artworks on the wall that we've got here and the way the bikes are set out, this is a living collection of the motorcycle art.
Victory has a new community centre coordinator, and I spoke to Rob Brown this week about his new position and the Victory Community Centre Matariki Festival. We sent a crew to Victory Community Centre to capture the beginning of this year's Matariki celebrations. Victory Primary School opened up with a waiata, followed by a reenactment of some local Māori legends. The children involved did a great job entertaining the audience of parents and teachers who clearly enjoyed the performances. Rob, thanks for taking the time to speak to us today. You've come here to fill some big boots of Gareth, who's left, and you're the new coordinator for Victory Community Centre. How's it been going for your first few weeks?
Good. 4 weeks in. It's been a challenge so far, but good getting to meet people and getting a feel for the community. It's great.
And whereabouts did you come from? You've been living in Nelson?
Yeah. Nelson for most of my life. I've had a bit of a background in media. Worked at MediaWorks for the last couple of years in radio. So a few community-focused events and things like that.
That's great. I've heard you've been thrown in the deep end. You've got a festival celebration coming up. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure, yes. Matariki, the festival. So we have a lantern parade that we walk up the cycle track just behind us here. So we've had kids come in and make lanterns and things like that. We have a few activities up there, a neon zone with performances, and then right at the very top we have a couple of performers. Neon Poi and Sama Desau will be performing up there, and then people head back down to the centre for more festivities.
Hey, that sounds great. You're talking about a lantern parade, but I see that you start at 3:40. It seems a bit early for lanterns. Is there something else that you're not telling us there?
Yeah, there is a little bit extra. We've got having the community centre on site with the Victory Primary School. They are doing a performance in the hall beforehand to celebrate the theme of the event, which is Journeys and Pathways. So they're doing a little performance at the start and then heading up for the walk up the track.
What a great day. We get a performance from the school, some food, and then up for celebrations and with dancing with Sam de Salt.
That's right. And after the walk, we come back down here and then there's a community hungy as well for $2 a plate for the community to get a free meal.
Jeez, it sounds like a late night. The kids getting the next day off or something?
Well, we'll see how they go, but should be good.
Hey, Rob, thanks very much. And we'll all look forward to seeing you down here tomorrow night.
Great. Thank you.
There has been a bit of controversy lately over the shared walk cycleways and the widening of paths around the city. I spoke with co-coordinators of Nelson Bicycle Bays, Chris Allison and John Paul Pochin, about their view of things and where to from here for the good of all. Hey guys, thanks for coming out this nice chilly morning to give us your views. There's been a bit of controversy between bikes and pedestrians lately. As Bicycle Nelson Bays, what's your views on this?
We think that in some ways it's not too surprising that there's a little bit of tension there. We've got a big increase of people riding and walking, and some of our shared paths maybe not as wide as they need to be. There's a few design things there, but we also don't have that much clarity about what the usage kind of protocols are. So, really basic stuff like bells, do people ring a bell? A lot of cyclists say yes we do, but then we get told we shouldn't. A bell means apparently to some people get out of my way, I'm coming through, and in fact what it means is hey, I'm here, just to let you know. And then they're told no, you need to call out, and then you call out, people say no, you use your bell. So it's kind of simple stuff about having some agreed protocols about how we all share the space, because we all live in Nelson, and we really enjoy our shared spaces, and we can make them work. They do work in other places. We've got a little bit of an issue at the moment. Let's not let that ruin what's basically a good thing.
Yeah, good comments. Also, what about walking? Which side of the walk for bikes? Should we walk with the traffic? Should we walk against the traffic? I mean, on the road we're told to walk sort of so that the traffic's coming towards us. What's your views on that? I know a few people have said lately to me.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, and I think often the paths are not wide enough to have people walking in a certain direction on each side, and then you've got people passing and basically gets a bit lost. I think sometimes it's really just kind of keep left, and then if you go around that person, people know that you're going to probably pass on the right, unless it's busy, in which case you might go on the left. But that kind of stuff is, you can work that out. It's not too complex really here.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Also, this path in particular for the long-term plan got a lot of submissions for and against bikes, path and shared walkways. What's your views on this one in particular?
Well, it's a really important route for Nelson. It's a very pretty environment. It gets a lot of young people walking and cycling. It's a great path for children to get their first experience on a bike away from traffic. I think it's important for tourism as well. You've got people that are coming to Nelson because it is very pretty, and it's also, we're synonymous with cycling, and so it is a really important path. So having said that, we don't want to ruin it, but there are improvements that can be made to it that will make it easier for us all to share. There are also things that we can do as well. It doesn't suit everybody. There are people using it who could probably be on other routes if they were made more attractive. So we're thinking, the faster riders. Let's look at ways of improving, say, our other roads that make it so they're safe, that they feel safe on those roads, and they'll be attracted to that. A lot of people, this isn't the right route for a fast cyclist. You can't go very fast on here, even if you wanted to. Some people do. They're a very small minority. If you stand here for any time of day, the vast majority of people are sharing this in the way that you would expect people to share in Nelson. We are a small community. We generally get along really, really well, but there is a small minority that don't.
And how about the consultation process with both walkers and bikes from council? Do you think it's robust enough?
I think there's an opportunity for more consultation within the wider community about what it is we're really going, what is it we're aiming for, what are we trying to do in Nelson, how do we get more people cycling and walking. It's beneficial to everybody, so let's talk about it. I think there is a really good opportunity here, and I think when the majority of Nelson has a voice, I think we'll all come to a really good solution.
Great. Chris, John Paul, thanks very much for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
People helping people is what makes our community strong, and if that also gives new experiences and skills to some of the disadvantaged members of our community, it just shows what a caring, thoughtful community we live in. Riding for the Disabled in Richmond is one such volunteer organisation who survives through the generosity of a local family that leases the land for $1 a year, and all the people who give their time for the good of others. I went along to talk with head coach Kim Murdoch about this well-respected national organisation. Kim, thanks for taking the time to talk to us this morning. It's just such a lovely spot out here, so tranquil. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks for coming up and taking an interest in our RDA. We're the Richmond Riding for the Disabled group. We do therapeutic riding for children and adults. We have people here ranging from the age of 3 through to 72. We're one of 55 RDAs throughout New Zealand. There's actually 3 within the Nelson region. We have 67 riders at the moment, with about 3 on the waiting list. And they do. We have everyone from severe sort of cerebral palsy through to the autistic spectrum, through to just behavioural problems, and we have one stroke victim who's come back and trying to get her balance and learn to ride.
Fantastic that it's here for people. And how do you find that these people with these disabilities interact with the horses and the animals?
Oh, it's just brilliant to see. It makes it all worthwhile to be here. We have on a Monday we do what we call our therapy riding session, where we have one child who's severe cerebral palsy. She can't do anything for herself. We put her on the horse and she just has a smile that would light the world, and it doesn't leave her face the whole time she's on the horse. We have another child who won't speak until you put her on a horse, and then she starts chatting.
Wow.
She'll talk. It's just amazing to see the way that they interact with the horses. So children with behavioural problems, horses heal. They've got a spirit about them, and they teach some of the children how to respect. So they'll take that out into the outside world and respect people as well. It's beautiful. It's really nice to watch.
It must take a lot of people to keep this organisation running. How do you do that?
Right, we're always recruiting for good volunteers. You don't necessarily need to have horse experience because there's a wealth of other jobs that need doing around here. We've got 35 wonderful volunteers at the moment on our books. They come and go, but we have a core that stay with us for quite a long time. And we have 8 on our committee, so the committee members also give their time very freely and fundraise. We're always out doing fundraising and all that sort of thing in the community.
That was my next question. Funds are always a problem for community organisations. How about for you guys? What else do you do for funding?
Yeah, we definitely always struggle with fundraising. We have the Richmond community is brilliant. We'll ring them if we have the prizes for raffles and things like that, and they're always happy to oblige with vouchers and things like that. We do pony rides. We get out there. We do all the fairs, the Appleby Fair and the AMP and all of those ones. Hope. So that's a good little fundraiser as well. We do garage sales. We have an annual fair every February.
And we see some great fundraising at the garden gate there that anyone can come up and help themselves too for a couple of dollars.
Exactly. We have a never-ending supply of pony poo. Just on sale outside the door.
Kim, thanks very much for your time, and let's go and have a look at what these guys can do on these horses.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And I also caught up with Shantae, who is a volunteer for the branch. Shantae, it looks really fun out there, but really what makes you come here and volunteer?
Well, I find it actually really rewarding, getting out in the community and actually doing something that makes a difference. Like, instead of just sitting around all day, I like coming out, working with the horses, and when you sit there and you watch the kids actually make progress in their riding, makes you feel really good.
And how did you find out about this place to come and volunteer?
I actually found out on a Facebook site, just an online garage sale site for Nelson, and I thought I'll come in and check it out, and I started off doing a couple of days here and now I do 5 days a week. So, yeah.
It's pretty full on. And are you used to being around horses, or was it all new for you?
I grew up with horses, so I hadn't been around them for a little while, but yeah, we're sort of like getting on a bike.
For the community, thanks very much for all your efforts, and I'm sure the kids just love it that you're here.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Yeah.
After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm Harris from the Facilitators. We now look after sales for Mainland TV, radio, Sky and online. New Zealand On Air's latest Colmar Brunton survey confirms Mainland's large multimedia audience. If you're in business or want to put a message out to everyone in the Nelson Tasman region, plus nationwide on Sky or worldwide online, please give me a call or see our website at www.mainlandtv.nz.
We're the team at Jaycar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more. Jaycar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
I'm Francis from Nelson Auto Glass. We repair all auto glass, stone chips, windscreen replacements, scratch removal.
If you have an auto glass issue, our team will sort it.
Nelson Auto Glass Specialist, 84 Vanguard Street, Nelson.
.1 The Shed.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 546408.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand On Air.
Hi, my name's Ian Mortimer. Mortimer Auto Upholstery is your one-stop shop for all your upholstery needs. We do car and boat interiors, boat canopies, ute tonneau covers, canvas and PVC fabrication. Call in and see us in Oxford Mews, 72 Oxford Street, Richmond.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
We're the team at Jaycar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. Jaycar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that fat old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. we have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.